Rocker Pat here. Alright guys, another day in the jungle. Well, hate to say it, but I've made some mistakes here on our front end kit that I'm putting in. Let me go over what I've made the mistakes on. First, I made the mistake of when installing the upper hat. We read right there, it says the surface must be parallel and level with the same surface on the opposite spring tower. Now where the mistake I made was, I was assuming that these spring towers were the same, and that's where I made the mistake. This is the spring tower that came, the Helix spring tower that came with all of my control arms, brakes, that kit. And if we look, it's cantered right here. Okay, it's not straight, it's not flat all the way across. All right, so that's one mistake I made here, because when I put this spring tower in, I put a bar from this side to the other side to make sure they're straight. Well, this one's straight all the way across. So that's one mistake I made. The other mistake I made was that when I bought this lower control arm and upper hats, I didn't know that the distance between here and the distance between here was different. The distance between center lines of those 2 points right here on the Helix is 24 inches. The distance between the center line of the TCI is 22. So I'm an inch off on each side. So I've got two problems going on here. One, if we look at the way that top hat's in there, my spring isn't in the right travel arch, okay? From how, you see how it's kind of over there and then I'm over here? I need to kick this way. This needs to go up so that the spring seat is in line with this shock. But the biggest problem I have is because I've got 1 inch moved in here, is that I've got some serious camber problems. I've got both of these slotted all the way in, and look at the bubble on my level. I've got negative camber going on right now, and according to the directions of the TCI, I should have 0 camber on my wheel. According to the directions of the Helix system, I should have 1 degree caster on this car. Did I say camber? I meant caster, guys. In case I said that wrong. So where my problem is lying right now is that I've already tacked these in place and kind of started welding them in, and I should have pushed that all the way in to where that notch is right there up against the frame, and the same way up here I've got a big gap up in there. Okay, so I get to cut that off again and reposition it so that when I look at this picture here, you can clearly see that it's tilted, and I need to do the same thing. So there's my mistake, and I literally spent half the night fretting over that. So what I'm going to do to help solve my camber problem is I'm going to fit that back up in there where this comes all the way up to there first, and I'm going to see where I sit. But chances are I'm probably going to have to cut back to this notch right here, and then trim a little off of here, and trim about the same amount off of this side right here, so that I can push this whole deal this way. I've already checked. I got plenty of room between my spring and the frame. There's no problems whatsoever in that zone right there. So I can move this in so that I can get some more camber out of this front end. The other problem I have is the fact that this is 1 inch shorter due to the fact that this bolt is in a different location. My tie rod right here, although I have plenty of room right here, I'm bottomed out in my tie rod. So I'm probably gonna have to come over and trim a little bit off of the end of the inner tie rod so that I got some adjustment for my my toe. But that's not a big deal right there. That should be pretty simple. But yeah, I made a mistake. This is the first time I've ever had to do one of these, and I've been really fretting over this as to how to get it done right. But I think I understand where I went wrong. Where I went wrong was I'm using 2 different kits. That's the number 1 problem. The second problem is that I didn't follow the kit for this. That's my biggest hurdle right there, is getting that centered, that properly located. I still think that the number of 13 1/4 this way on this hat is wrong, because the measurement they're taking off of is this hat, and this hat is made differently. It doesn't have the T-slots in it. It has a different deal, and I can't guarantee that this part right here isn't skinnier. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's not 1/2 inch skinnier on each side, or 1 inch skinnier, or whatever, to give it that difference of size. So it's what I'm working with, but I think I got it figured out, and wish me luck, because I got some grinding to do. All right, guys, y'all keep grinding it down. I'm going to keep grinding it down. Y'all keep rocking and rolling and rolling and rocking. I got some grinding to do. Talk to y'all next time.